Yes guys, and welcome back to LS Racing, and today it is Hooton Park round 9 in their IndyCar Championship. I forgot to do the intro to today, so we are just on the outlap for Heat 1 now. It is an intermediate kind of wet track, so let's see how we get on in this first heat. Well, yeah, it's round 9 of the Hooton Park IndyCar Championship, the penultimate round. So we've got this one, and then we have round 10 in a month's time to end off the season, and we're going to see if we can get a top 8 in the championship. I think we're currently sat in 9th after this round, so it's definitely possible. But here we go now. We are in P8. Qualifying didn't necessarily go as good as we wanted, but let's see how we do now in this Heat 1 session. We start behind Sam Stockton, so let's just see how we get on. Our X-Car teammate to our right there on the same row as us, actually, Zach Kane. I think we were separated by half a tenth in qualifying, but here we go, coming round the final corner to get underway with this first heat at Hooton Park IndyCar round 9. We are going through the tram lines into turn 1. Sam brakes quite early there, and we nearly hit into the back of him. Ryan Wheatley in front. Yes, I got your name right this time, Ryan. Goes into turn 2 now, and look at the gaps between these carts. We're nearly 4 wide into turn 3, but this is really close fighting. Lewis Holt's going to actually fly down our inside, but we're going to have the outside line, so it's more traction. We'll get back ahead of Lewis. We go into the double left. Sam hits the brakes, and I am so sorry, Sam. So we get past Sam Stockton, but not in a correct way. I did apologise to Sam and his dad, Andy, multiple times after the race. I'm really sorry. But here we go now. We're up into 7th. We are trying to follow our X-Kart teammate, Zach Kane. He did give us the signal to work together, but we get such a better run through turn 1. So we go down his inside of turn 2, and now we're going to try and hunt down the red suit of Ryan Wheatley. And I give Zach that signal because I know here, I could tell the kart was quick. I could tell we had pace. So going into turn 1, we are right behind Ryan on the next lap. We hit the curb into turn 2. Ryan makes a mistake and goes wide. We do go wide as well, but we have the inside line. We're going to go down his inside into turn 3, and we enter the top 5. As the two in front make contact, we're going to try to squeeze down the inside of Benji Jones. He doesn't see us coming, and he drifts there. But he does actually make a mistake, and we are going to get a move on Benji. So we are now up into the top 4, which was quite surprising, but we've got some catching up to do with this top 3 of Callum Moyer, Ollie Hopkins, and Rafi Haider. I don't know if I'm saying your names right. If I'm incorrect, then I'm sorry. But this is a lap later now. We get a better run than Rafi going into turn 1. We are going to get the speed going into turn 2. We make a bit of contact, but I had the nose in, so it's a legal move in my opinion. We get the move on Rafi, and we're up into the podium places now, P8 to P3. Ollie and Callum are going at it in front. Ollie gets a switch back on Callum, but as they go flying into the double left, Callum and Ollie make contact, and it started to hit me here. Look at the head shake. And it made me realise we are actually now leading this heat. We're P1, P8 to P1 in the first few laps. And that, look at my head movement here. I'm buzzing, but we've still got a lot of racing to do. We've still got Rafi behind us, and he is not necessarily someone that I can just pull away from easily. But this was actually quite the opposite, because we now enter our final lap of racing in the heat, and at this moment we had pulled away by 2 seconds. We were 2 seconds ahead. Our X-Car teammate Lewis Holt had squeezed into 2nd, and now we are just going to take it easy on this last lap. Don't spin out, don't ruin it for myself, and I was going to just enjoy this final lap, because this kind of showed all the progress we've been making. It's finally starting to click. It's starting to come together. All the jigsaw pieces are starting to make one big project. And as we come round the final corner, and the checkered flag is waved, we're going to take our first ever junior road tax win. We're going to go from P8 to P1 in this heat, and you can listen to how happy I am here. What the fuck, man?
How have you done that? I don't know.
Now, to any children who are watching, I'm very sorry because that language, I was quite happy with that. But now we're going to go for Heat 2, where I start on pole position for the first time. And this was weird because before this, we'd never started higher than the 3rd row. So this was definitely weird as we led the grid out onto this Hooton Park circuit, which is a lot wetter. It's a lot more wet compared to how it was in Heat 1, as we nearly actually took ourselves out on the formation lap there. I need to be easy, but obviously we want to get this kart warm. We don't want to be suffering on lap 1, so we're weaving as much as humanly possible, hitting the brakes, locking them as hard as we can, trying to scrub them in, and we're just kind of on and off with the throttle and the brake to give the clutch a bit of warmth as well. But yeah, definitely a weird feeling. I'm sorry for the audio, because the audio decided to just not work. There was rain in the GoPro, there was water in the GoPro, sorry, and it was still absolutely pouring down, so I can't fix the audio. But anyways, we are going to try now and convert this pole position into another win to set us up for a pole position for the final. Lewis Holt joins us on the front row. It's an X-Kart front row lockout coming round the final corner. And obviously, well, typical look that you can't see anything, but here we go. Now we accelerate at the perfect time. We get a jump on Lewis Holt. We go flying into turn 1. We have pretty much got our first rolling start, bang on, but we do actually go wide into turn 1 now, and Lewis Holt gets a very aggressive move, but a clean one. He gets down our inside, and Lewis now leads this race. And to be honest, if it was anyone that wasn't Lewis, I would have been fuming. But based on the fact that he's my teammate and we agreed that we wouldn't fight each other hard, we just needed to kind of pull away from the rest of the grid. That's what I kind of faced. So me and Lewis now are just going to try and work together. But obviously, as you'll see, that is not the case because Lewis has disappeared. Lewis is very quick in these type of conditions. He's very quick in the full wet conditions, and this was a full wet track. So as you can see, Lewis, he's already down the road. So it's just my task now to try and keep P2 and pretty much just set us up for a front row lockout. But I'm pretty sure this is the final lap. There wasn't a lot of action. There wasn't too much action from this because me and Lewis kind of just pulled away from the rest of the grid. And Lewis flew away, like you'll see now. You cannot see Lewis whatsoever. By the time he's come round turn 3, we're just hitting turn, like midway through turn 2 and 3. So it's kind of saying something. But we are just going to take it easy on this final lap. We know we don't have to push too hard because of the gap. So we're just trying to keep our heads. And as we hit the chicane, pretty decent line from me there through this chicane, hit that curb, and as we come through the final corner, we're going to take another top 2 finish, and the checkered flags wave will take second place in this heat, and this is actually going to set us up for pole position in the final, because Lewis Holt, we actually out-qualified him, so we will start on pole, we get the advantage, and we roll out of the pit lane ahead of this final race, and we're going to try and grab our first ever top 4, which means we would actually get a trophy. So it's our first, it could be our first trophy, which I would be absolutely delighted with. But we're getting some warmth into the car, throwing the steering wheel around, locking the brakes, on and off the throttle, the same techniques that we've been using all day, obviously. And I think it kind of hit me now that I wasn't scared of being at the front anymore. Obviously, when you're at the front for the first time, you get really nervous and you get quite anxious because of how aggressive they can be at the front, but I wasn't too phased at this point. We'd been on the front row once already in that day, so I already knew what to kind of expect. So, calm, cool and composed is the best way I'd put it. And let's just try and see what we can do in this final. As we come round the final corner, we're the leader, we decide the pace, and that's exactly what we're going to do. and we slow down. The second he tells us to go, we go, and we get a really good jump compared to Lewis. So we go flying into turn 1 from this rolling start, and we do lead, and we look behind us just in case Lewis is going to launch an attack again, but we actually do get through turn 2 unscathed. We go flying into turn 3. I look behind, we've got a bit of a gap behind to Lewis Holt, so we're just going to try and fully push and attempt to try and pull away, see if we can maybe get a win here. And we hit this double left, hit the curb as much as possible for rotation, hit the other curb as well, and this first lap is coming to an end, and we are still going to be leading, so we haven't lost the lead on the first lap, unlike Heat 2. But that mistake there, that is really going to cost us, because we just seem to not be as consistent. And here we go now, flying into turn 1. We do leave the door open, but we knew there was a bit of a gap, so it's not one of them where we have to fully stress about it. Hit the curb at turn 2, and we are starting to kind of come together in these conditions. We knew we were quick in the wet. We've kind of noticed that throughout the season. For example, at fullback, where we were P7 on track. But here we go, flying into turn 1. Lewis Holt finally gets that move on us, and Ollie is actually going to go through as well. So we've actually lost 2 positions from there. I didn't realise how much Lewis and Ollie had caught up on us, and Lewis, he saw the gap. And speaking of, we've just gone back down the inside of Lewis. Lewis makes contact with Ollie, so we're going to get back up into second. But yeah, I didn't see Lewis, and I didn't realise Ollie was so close as well, or I would have covered the door. But it's just things like that that you kind of learn from rookie mistakes, as Lewis goes back down our inside the next lap. Lewis clearly had so much more pace than I did. The kart didn't feel bad at all, to be fair. So big thank you to my dad as well. My dad really helped us this weekend. The kart felt really good throughout every session, but it just seemed like we lacked pace in this final. But I'm not going to blame the mechanic, because the mechanic was absolutely awesome the whole weekend. But here we go now, flying into turn 1. We're about halfway through this race. I feel something hit me from behind. We go wide, and there is Rafi Haydar and Sam Stockton. So Rafi goes down our inside, good racecraft from him, and Sam just follows him through. We tried to get the switch back on Sam, which we actually do, but we can't cover it off fully. So Sam gets the move, and we are down to 5th. At this point, I didn't really know what to think, because it kind of hit me that we were out of the top 4. And from here, I was just like, try and keep you cool, try and follow Sam and Rafi, and see what you can do from there. But that just clearly wasn't going to happen today. So Sam and Rafi, as you'll see, just start to pull away hugely. And to be honest, that's pretty much it. Sam and Rafi pulled away, and we couldn't keep up, really. But that is going to be the end, guys. So I hope you all enjoyed, and here is me with the outro. Right, guys, so I hope all that footage was enjoyable. I'm sorry about the audio, because there was rain and there was water went in the GoPro, and it really messed up the audio. So that was just wonderful. But yeah, that is the end of today's video. One of our best weekends to date, no doubt. I think it was a very enjoyable weekend, and it really showed that we deserve to be at the front. So I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. And the next time I'll be uploading probably will be Hooton Round 10. Unless I find some other footage to edit and upload. But yeah, thank you so much to all the wonderful people that have carried on supporting my racing journey. X-Kart, Kartown Motorsport, because the engine was rapid all weekend. And the likes of the Motorsport Mentor, etc, etc. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, hit all them buttons so you know when I next upload, and you can follow along with my motorsport journey. And until next time, I'll see you later.